What is happening? Mediocre people at YouTube. It would be wrong of me not to comment on the video that was just publicly released on my channel. That video has actually been sitting on my channel for months now, unlisted. Today I made it public. I've been meaning to make it public for a while now. Not to, like I said, I didn't re-release or re-upload that video as a means of embarrassing anyone or dredging up old feelings or whatever. I just think it's appropriate and interesting how those internet relationships evolved back then. At that time, I was always a part of the guitar community. I wasn't in those hangouts with Bruce and Will and Elmo. I was just getting to know those guys at the time. But I was very aware of the situation that was going on that created that hangout. For those of you who weren't around back then, you wouldn't understand it even if I explained it to you, what went on back then. But for those of you who were there and are easily offended by my uploading this video, and I just feel like, because there's just some embarrassing stuff on there, especially for people like Eric C. Eric C. has gone on to make some of the most remarkable custom guitars you'll ever see. And he's built a channel. It's strange. And that's what's interesting for me, to see how these people went through and what they became, later on when they found their own way. Eric has a hell of a channel now, and like I said, he's building some of the most amazing custom guitars and what am I looking for? Amazing custom guitars and custom modified guitars that you'll ever see. Eric really found himself, and he's built a good thing for himself over there, and I think everybody in that hangout's proud of what Eric's done. Elmo B, he's still doing his thing. Elmo B was never trying to be a YouTube personality, and back then that was what YouTube was promoting. This was in the midst of Google purchasing YouTube and all that other stuff, and they were heavily promoting people to, hey, look, this person is they have millions of subscribers, and some of those people were making bank, man. Even people with 50,000 subscribers at that time, like one of the guys in there, Will Galvin, at that time he was making bank on just 50,000 subscribers. He was doing well. I mean, for 50,000 subscribers, he was doing real well every month. And I'm talking about YouTube's monetization, if you don't understand what I'm talking about. They eventually whittled that stuff down to where, and that's what they were doing then. They were just trying to get more people on the platform so that they could market to their advertisers to get a higher market value for advertising. So they could say, look, we have X amount of users, this is the rate for advertising for whoever. This was also during the time, wasn't long after that Walmart, I think, was the first one to say, hey, I don't like us being advertised on this person's channel because I don't agree with their political viewpoints. And that's when YouTube, Google, really started censoring and cutting down on a lot of things that were going on. And it was just bullshit. It was freedom of speech, I mean, it's a shame, and I'm not talking about the attacks on people's accounts, the trolling that was going on, and there was some people that got really caught up in that, to the point where, I mean, it just drove them crazy. Ed Dana went through a lot with his channel, and again, Ed's found his thing. He's still doing what he does. He's a live guitar player, singer, guitar player. But I know Ed went through a lot. Ed took a lot of that stuff very personal, and it opened the door for people who like to get under somebody's skin personally. And it really it took an emotional toll on him, and he didn't deserve it. So Duncan, as far as Duncan's concerned, I really don't know a whole lot about Duncan Kennard, and I haven't really seen him around. I never really went out of my way to see what he does. But anyway, I guess he's still around. But Rob Franklin had commented on that video. Well, he was one of the first people to comment on that video, and Rob was saying that hindsight 2020. I wish I would have played my hand differently. And Rob Franklin is probably, out of everybody in that hangout, Rob Franklin was probably the most stable-minded and down-to-earth person in that hangout. Rob's a good dude. I like him. I don't get enough time to talk with everybody anymore, but always enjoyed Rob's company. Good guy. But this stuff went on, and of course Will Galvin. Will, I don't think anybody's heard from Will ever since he became the face of Navage. About a year ago, Will Galvin appeared in a Navage commercial, and that's about the last I heard from Will. I haven't heard from Will since. If you don't know who he is, I don't know if his channel is still the Guitar Doctor or if it's Will's Easy Guitar or what it is. At one time he built custom guitars. It was a company called Galvin Guitars. Will, I think if Will was sitting here with me right now, he would agree that, and he would tell you himself that he made a lot of mistakes. In hindsight, I'm sure he wishes he could have done a lot of things differently. But as far as he goes as a person, he was always helpful to me. As far as teaching, I learned a lot of shit from him. A lot about guitars, how they work, how they're built, and how to do a lot. And a lot of people learned a lot of stuff directly from him. I don't know where Will's at or what he's doing anymore. I haven't heard from him in probably a year. And I don't really want to get into that whole discussion because there's a group of us, we still talk all the time. I talk to Eric all the time. I talk to Wally and Elmo B, as well as Blue Light Bandit and a few others, Rob Franklin obviously, but Burt Cocaine. I still talk to Ed, from time to time. I just don't have time to get onto YouTube like I used to. In fact, I commented on a couple of Ed's videos today, just to say hello. And like I said, he's still doing what he's doing, and that's cool. Back to what I was going to say, Burt Cocaine. He was around over this past winter when Ed Dana and Scott Grove, and that's when I saw Duncan last, I guess, was when they were doing the hangouts with, or live streams with Scott Grove, which was very cool. Burt Cocaine showed up, and we started kind of, I didn't really get that much of a chance to talk to him other than the emails we shared back and forth. I think it was Elmo and Wally that were kind of talking to him even more than I did. Apparently he became very offended with me. And I don't really have the point being is we were supposed to all get together on a different platform, and when it came down to it, he's disappeared again. So I don't know where Bert's at. Still like to get the gang back together. I've never had any intentions of otherwise. But that went on. Bert was around back then. He wasn't in those hangouts either. Bert was around though. And then afterwards, after the Poison Friends thing, Bert was around. And I'll tell you right now, I think if Bert was sitting here with me, he'd be one of the first to tell you that, hindsight 2020, I'm sure he would have played his hand differently, as well as all of us, would have done things differently. Had we known a lot of the truth, we would have done things differently. That's another thing. You never know. You only know what you know at the time. You know, you find out things later on, and you go, wow, you know, it makes total sense now, and then you feel like an ass, you know. So, you know, it's stuff like that that's made me a quieter man, made me listen more because, you know, like I say, you only know what you know. Um, Somebody can sit across from you and just come off as sincere as can be, and blatantly be telling you a lie, you know, blatantly lying to you, looking right in your eyes, and a lot of times when somebody comes off as sincere like that, you know, what else? What other, you know, you believe them, you want to believe them, especially if you like them. Um, it is what it is. Like I said, it's made me a quieter person for sure, and just listen. Do a lot more listening than talking, I suppose, or at least try to. Um, so yeah, for any of you, who else was in that hangout that I didn't mention? Um, oh, Terry was in that hangout. I think Terry has definitely gone on to make a name for himself as probably the only person on the planet who's ever played guitar as long as he has played and not become any better. It's actually quite amazing. I mean, it's really amazing. So yeah, I mean, I guess Terry would get the prize for being the one person to consistently play guitar for years and never, never gain anything. Bruce, I didn't mention Bruce. Bruce is a good guy. I have liked Bruce from day one. Bruce is still doing his thing. What he was doing before all this was, if you guys remember the old Brucifer channel, Bruce has always been kind of in the Bible community of YouTube, and that stuff is incredible. I mean, man, the Bible stuff on YouTube is amazing. You want to go see some people who call themselves Christian, go get involved in the Bible community. It's amazing, and I think it's a really good thing that Bruce is there because, yeah, he's probably one of the only people that's actually bringing reality. There's a lot of people living in La La Land out in that Bible community, you know, in a lot of Bible communities, but especially on YouTube. And I think Bruce tells it like it is, and good for him. But yeah, I like Bruce. Anyway, like I said, just wanted to explain myself a little bit as far as to why I'm re-releasing that live hangout. Not to offend anyone. If anything, it's to show how far we've all come. But especially now with social media, what it is now versus what it was then, and what it was then versus what it was just 5 years before that. You know, when YouTube first started around 2004, 2005, maybe. I don't even know if maybe it was around a little earlier than that, but it really started getting big around 2008, 2009, 2010. That's where it really started taking off. And you know, around 2013, 2012, 2013 is when things really blew up, and people started, you know, having these internet friendships, and it's a lot like a friendship in real life, but you know, when it comes down to it, you're not in real life, you know, and it's where the keyboard warriors came from, you know, and all that kind of stuff. Social media, like I said, it's come a long way now, and you don't see a lot of the stuff that you used to see because we've passed that. But I mean, this hangout here was nothing compared to what a lot of the online arguments you would see back then. Just before this hangout was the whole Tonewood War thing. If you don't know about the Tonewood Wars, we should definitely do a video on explaining what went on during the Tonewood Wars. Actually, it was a lot of fun. If you took it for what it was and had fun with it, it really was a lot of fun. But there was a lot of people that took it very seriously. I mean, people were threatening to kill each other over this stuff. It wasn't funny, you know. But yeah. So yeah. So if anybody takes offense to that, my uploading that, you know, please understand I was never meant to offend anyone by re-uploading it. Especially the people that are in that hangout. You know, I understand it could be embarrassing for any one of them, I suppose. And if it's really that embarrassing, I'll take it down. You know, all you got to do is ask. So, but I just thought it's important to, you know, remember history so that we don't repeat it, right? So anyway, until next time, peace out. Wish I could get some more content out to you guys. I have a video in mind. It's just a matter of getting to it, having time to do it. So until next time, peace out.